All right. Can you? What are we doing? I don't know what to do. What's going on? Week 8, everybody. We're here. Week 8, Jets fans. Week mother effort 8. The New York Jets, the Aaron Glens of the NFL. The Woody Johnson, Aaron Glenn collective. Boom, Tanner Engstrand. They pull it together. And they get their first victory of their lives. Isn't it wonderful? Congrats. Congrats to you. Congrats to me. Oh my God. We talk and we bitch and we moan and we gripe and we cry and we argue and we defend and we attack. And today we get to celebrate and be happy. But not all of us. Not all of us. We'll talk about the tank. We'll talk about the tanksters. We'll talk about the hopesters. We'll talk about some sad news that happened this weekend. And we'll talk about the projected future going into the bye week and why you, Jets fandom, are the greatest fans in the entire NFL. I got it all for you on episode 188 of GreenBean's Jets Pod. I am Green Bean. I'm delighted, absolutely delighted that you are here with me today. I am utterly destroyed, exhausted. What a weekend. Emotional roller coaster. It's been a toughie. And, hey, man. It's a long season. We got still 9 games, everybody, and we have a little mark, a little boop, one little line in the win column. Jets are 1-7, and if I may, I'm going to make a suggestion. You ready for this suggestion? I think we are going to brace ourselves, like we got a little break, right? Little tiny break. We're going to take a little breath of fresh air as an organization. Woody Johnson's going to take that time, take a sock. They're going to roll up a big bunch of nice wool socks and stuff right in his mouth. So he shuts, just calm down, Woody Johnson. All right? We're going to take a breath and we're going to come back and we're going to lose our boots right in the ass of the Cleveland Browns. Yeah! All right. And that's going to give us another mark, a number 2 in the win column. Now, that's going to give us some momentum because that'll be 3 straight weeks without a loss, right? You got the Cincy, you got the bye, you got the Browns. So we run roughshod through Ohio, just losing boots and butts. That's what we're doing. Running around, losing our boots and all the butts. The entire state of Ohio is like, what the hell just happened? I thought the Jets, they're supposed to be the Jets. How did the Jets just defeat the entire state of Ohio? Stopped by Kings Island, rode a couple roller coasters, maybe Orion, maybe Mystic Timbers, right? Little beast action. Then we went up to Cedar Point, did a little Steel Vengeance, a little Maverick. On the way out, we rode a little gatekeeper action up there. And we got the hell out of there with a bunch of victories. That's what we did. Ate some Skyline chili. Is that where that shit's from? Right? They like that. Skyline chili. You heard of it? I think it's Skyline. It's a big deal. They take chili and they put it on macaroni. They put it on spaghetti. That's their big thing. They think they figured it out. Ohioans. They're like, hey, man, you ever had, I don't know an Ohio accent, so I'm just going to do a fucking Virginian. I don't even know a Virginian accent. I just know a whatever. And they go, hey, man, you ain't had good food till you had fucking chili on spaghetti. You're like, really? I mean, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, I love chili. I love spaghetti. You put them in a bowl. I'm going to eat it. Throw a little cheese on there. They take raw onions. They throw it. I like it. That's what they do. And I like it too. So I'm in. I mean, shit, it's good. But that's what they think. They're like, mwah. Hello, come into Chef Ronald's house. I don't even know what I'm talking. Come into Chef's chili. And we're going to take this nice tomato-based chili. We're going to put it on the pasta for you. Take a special onions and throw it in there, a little bit of the cheese. I don't even know who I am. I'm a French, Italian, Russian guy from fucking Alabama at this point. Anywho, we're going to do that. We're going to be 2-0 in the state of Ohio. Half cleaning house in the AFC North, right? Then we got to come back to the AFC East. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little nervous because, look, a lot of us, you know who we are. A lot of us, when we had a gentleman named Mike Vrabel in the building of One Jets Drive in Florham Park, you had Mike Vrabel in the building. Now, everybody knows Mike Vrabel was interviewing with the Jets. The Patriots' job was not available yet, but it was going to be, and the whole thing, he was letting the Pats organization know, look, dude, it's now or never. Either you hire me or I'm going to go down here to the rival. You want to keep Gerard Mayo and do that whole thing. So they used us like so many teams have done in the past. But it doesn't matter what the intentions are beforehand. You have an opportunity there. And you sit down with Mike Vrabel and you go, look, dude, nobody's naive in this room, okay? Nobody's naive. We know the deal. We know what your intentions are. We know what the plan is. We know what the whole outcome's going to, we know it. But here's the thing I want to present to you. I don't really give two shits about any of that. What I want you to do is not feel like you have to go back to the Patriots to do anything like you're going home. What I want you to do is I want you to stay right here, and you're going to show the Patriots and the rest of the world why it is that you were the number one coaching candidate in this entire class and how the Titans never should have let you go. We're going to do it right here. Now, here's how we're going to get it done. I know you want to leave. I get it. First of all, go fucking order some Skyline chili and bring that in here. We're going to have a Skyline chili, but the difference is we're going to cut little cubes of Taylor ham. We're going to throw them on there. Chef Pedro is going to come in. Hey, going to throw the Taylor ham. Little Locatelli cheese on there. We're going to mix it all up, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to open up a checkbook, you see, and I'm going to write Woody Johnson on. I'm going to sign it. I'm going to date it. And I'm going to give it to you. And you're going to put in there whatever you want. That's number one. Okay. You want a 10-year contract, fully guaranteed? I don't give a shit. That's what you're going to get. Okay. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to let you pick the GM. You are the boss around here. And I'm going to let you design and build the entire New York Jets football operation. This is going to be, you're going to go down in the annals of history as the guy who came in and took the worst franchise in all of professional sports and revamped it and made it a dynasty. You're not just going to follow a dynasty up there in New England. You're not going to go back and try to capture and relive history. You're going to do something fresh right here. You're the boss. Here's the money. What do you want it? I'm going to back up the whole thing, and you don't let them leave. That's what else do you need? What else do you? So, and you're going to see why. You're seeing why. What are the Patriots? What's their record now? You guys know? The Patriots, right, so listen to this, guys, just so you know. The Bills have been the cream of the crop of the AFC East since the dynasty in New England collapsed, right? Bill Belichick and Tom Brady had a breakup, very public, similar to Benifer and Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton and all that shit. So they break up. Now, we don't know at the time. Is it Bill Belichick's greatness that took a 6th-round pick and made him into the greatest quarterback of all time? Or did the greatest quarterback of all time happen to fall into the lap of Bill Belichick and make it so he looks like the greatest coach of all time? What is it? Who is it? Is it the both? We don't know. So they do this breakup, and we get to look at it face to face. Tom Brady goes down to Tampa Bay, an organization that hasn't been in the playoffs in 10 years. And Bill Belichick stays right there. He doesn't have his quarterback, but he gets a 1st-round pick quarterback named Mac Jones. He gets to pick a new guy. And he's got the whole infrastructure. Everything's in place. Who's going to be the best? Well, we know. Tom Brady went down there. He brought Gronk with him, and I think he asked for Antonio Brown. That's who it was. So other than that, he was a fresh organization. Bruce Arians is down there, the whole thing. Well, Bill Belichick and the Patriots go to the playoffs. They do a one and done in the playoffs. Okay, fine. You know, whatever. He gets to the playoffs and they lose their wild card game. On the other side of the tracks, Tom Brady goes right to the Super Bowl and wins it. It ends the debate. Because then from there, Tom Brady played one more year. They got to the semifinal round, like the divisional playoffs, and I think they lost. Maybe it was the championship game. I forget. And one or the other. But he loses, doesn't make it. So he goes down there for 2 years, gets a Super Bowl ring and a playoff stint. And Bruce Arians retires, leaves the team to Todd Bowles, and they've been pretty good ever since, right? Leaves the whole thing. He actually left the year before. But Belichick, on the other hand, just lower on the total, just 1 year to the next, lower. Gets rid of Mac Jones. He's playing Bailey Zappi and all these kinds of things. Bill Belichick gets fired and goes into the abyss. Tom Brady retires and goes hailed as the champion. So we know what happened. In all that time, since that, in that window, the Buffalo Bills have been the cream of the crop of the AFC East. And it was the Jets who the Jets were. We're struggling. We got Salah. We got Sanchez. Zachy Poo. Got all the guys. We're trying. We're doing okay. We're losing. We suck. You know, the whole thing. But we're fighting. And we're competent to a degree. But we can't do it, and we say, all right, well, we need a quarterback. That's our big problem. The whole team's in place. We're going to go for it now. We go get Aaron Rodgers, and that blows up in our faces. Meanwhile, the Bills are the cream of the crop, but they can't seem to get a ring. The Patriots are lower than us. Miami's doing whatever they do. They're real hot in the beginning. They fold. They get into the playoffs. They lose. They haven't won a playoff game in 25 years, that whole thing. But think of this. The Bills, cream of the crop since the Patriots dynasty. They're a great team. They're doing the whole thing, but they can't get the ring. And already last year, the Jets and Pats are on the head coaching line looking for a coach. They get Vrabel. He brings 3 former head coaches with him to their staff. We get rookie Aaron Glenn. He brings a bunch of rookies and failed head coach in Steve Wilkes, who's only had 1 year stints everywhere he goes. He has a 1 year stint as the Arizona Cardinals head coach with Josh Rosen. That fails, they fire him. He's an interim coach in Carolina when they got rid of Matt Rule. Great. He does some nice things. He trades Robbie Anderson or Chosen One or whatever his name is these days. And he gets fired there. And then he goes to defensive coordinator here for a year, defensive coordinator there for a year. So it's a little different. Yes, he's a former head coach, so Aaron Glenn didn't come in empty-handed. But Vrabel's up there doing his thing, and Aaron Glenn's down here doing his thing. The Buffalo Bills are still the Buffalo Bills, but in that just short couple of months, Vrabel already has the Pats as the number 1 team in the AFC East at 6-2. The Bills are kind of the same. I think they already had their bye, so they're 5-2. And the Dolphins are 2-6. They just won this weekend, and the Jets are 1-7 after the big victory. Yeah. Against the Bengals, the Burrowless Bengals, baby. So the Pats are scary. We're going to lose our fucking boots in the butts of the Ohio chili eaters, right? We're going to do that. But we're going to come back and we're going to go to New England into Foxborough, Gillette, and we're going to have the momentum of 3 straight weeks without a loss, right? Because we're beating Cleveland, damn it. And then we got to play the Pats. Can we steal it? It's AFC East, the whole thing. We got the momentum. We're pumped up. Garrett Wilson's back, the whole thing. Justin Fields is playing better. Tanner Engstrand's not so afraid of Justin Fields. He's letting them play football. The handcuffs are off, right? So who knows? But the Patriots can ruin it, can ruin the whole thing. Because here's what we got to do, guys. We got to go on a run. If we're going to ruin this whole tank idea, we got to do it with some conviction. We're going to have to go to the playoffs and on our way to a Super Bowl bid. So we got the Browns. We're going to beat them. We got to fight with the Patriots because then they're in the middle of this weird sandwich, AFC North sandwich with the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens, who are reeling everybody. They're not the same. Now, maybe Lamar Jackson's back by then. We're talking about November 23rd, the day after Matt O'Leary. The single life of Matt O'Leary will be an official thing of the past as of the date of the Ravens-Jets game, which happens to be the 18-year anniversary of my wife and I. So Matt O'Leary and I, we're going to be forever entwined. We'll have anniversary weekends for the rest of our days. So so Matt O'Leary is going to be off the market. Now, the truth is he's been off the market since I've known him with his amazing fiance, Taylor. Right? She's amazing. If you guys, the day I met Taylor was at the Coney Island Cyclone. I met Matt O'Leary for the first time, and he brought his wonderful lady friend. And the first thing she ever did, check it out. She said, "Hello, Green Bean. It's nice to meet you and your family. I brought freshly baked cookies." Dude, leave it in the comments. Did Matt find a winner or what? Let me know in the comments just from that alone. You meet them at the Coney Island Cyclone, the legendary roller coaster of the 1926 variety. You meet them there. And the first thing you get is, "Hello. It's nice to meet you. Enjoy these freshly baked cookies." Come on. Tell me in the comments, winner, loser. Tell me what you think O'Leary landed with. All right. We all know what happened there. So that's the thing. Theoretically, if the Patriots if we can beat the Patriots, we're talking about a 1, 2, 3, 4 game streak heading into the Atlanta Falcons. With our former head coach, defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbricht, who's the defensive coordinator down there. The Falcons are currently 3-4, and we can beat them too. You see what I'm saying? So it's the Patriots. The friggin' Patriots are already back with an experienced, violent head coach. Experienced, knowledgeable, badass. And he's got himself a young second-year quarterback named Drake May, he's got all the support in the world. They did it right. They built the organization right. So think about it, man. We could beat the Bengals, have a bye week, beat the Browns. The Pats are there. If we could get by that game and beat the Ravens, that's a 4-game win streak heading into the Falcons. You can beat them. Now we're 5-7. And then you're heading into what? Revenge against the Dolphins at MetLife. We do that. Think about it, man. You're now 5-7 on a 5-game win streak. And you're heading into payback at MetLife. It's the kind of scenario that shakes the Jets fans wake up and we actually go back into the stadium and fill it up and give them a little home field advantage. You beat the Dolphins. You're on a 6-game. You're 6-7, man. You're creeping around the 500s. Think about it. And then you got the Jaguars on December 14th. Now, the Jaguars are playing some good ball. That's the problem here. The Jaguars are 4-3 in a division led by the Colts, Daniel Jones, 6-1. It's crazy. So you got the Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars are playing some good football, so that's a tough one too. But if you can manage to get through that, You got the Saints. You see what I mean? And this is, see, the thing is, I want to point something out to you. This is not my creation. I'm talking about it right now and I'm thinking out loud, sure. But this is not my creation. This is largely given to me to this day after the Jets' victory against the Bengals by other Jets fans. Now, look, just hours before, the conversations were, should we fire Aaron Glenn before the end of the season? Who would our head coach be? Would you promote Wilkes, who's got experience, or you do Tanner Engstrand to do the offensive thing and just kind of kick this into overdrive? Maybe we just fire Aaron Glenn, promote Tanner Engstrand, and make Brady Cook the quarterback. This is the stuff we're talking about. We're talking about fire sale. We got to trade Brees for a fifth. You got to get a third for JJ. You got to get a second for Quinnen Williams. All this stuff. And one simple victory where the Jets score 39 points to the Bengals 38. A game that looked at times like it was very much the same old Jets. You couldn't get out of our own way. We don't know how to tackle. The offense looks completely dead in the water, like a fish with belly up. Down 17 points at one point, I think. And it's crazy. Because just like that, one victory, a 1-point victory, were a risky decision by Aaron Glenn, who's, let's be frank, has made plenty. This is the season of risky decisions. I don't think I've seen a New York Jets team, go for two more than this. Is only game 8. And I'm telling you, maybe a Michael Nania, Joe Blewett, Robbie Sabo, JetX package of fellas can tell me the truth of it, but I got to tell you, just from memory and feelings here, I can't remember. I don't think, I'll go out on a limb and say it confidently, even though I don't know for a fact, I don't think that there's ever been a Jets team that has gone for two in a full season as much as Aaron Glenn has already done it. Shit, he did it multiple times against the Bengals in one game. He did it multiple times week 1 against the Steelers. This guy goes for it on 4th down more than anybody I've ever seen. Sometimes it makes sense. And you're like, yeah, man. Show some balls. Week 1, we were losing our minds. Aaron Glenn's got balls. That takes balls. Aaron Glenn's got balls. We got a coach with testicles, the whole thing. And then there's the other time, it's 4th and 5, and you're on the 30-yard line, and we just kick a field goal, man. And he's going for it. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. But in this week's game, that going for two, when, look, the analytics said it was the right move, but I got to tell you, it didn't feel like the right move. It was like, yeah, I get it. But, dude, the offense can't be trusted. Those analytics are put together for an offense that isn't inept. So it's like it's tough to make that call. And look at the play. Isaiah Davis. But, dude, Justin Fields is getting sacked. And he tosses it to Isaiah Davis, who makes a crazy catch. And they first say incomplete. Then they say, okay, it was a catch, but he didn't get in the goal line. And it turns out, for one split second, he's horizontal. He's parallel with the field. He's laid out. He catches the ball, and the tip of the football just boop over the line. He's fucking backwards. Dude, by the skin of his teeth, Aaron Glenn, his choice to go for two would end up being the difference in the game. That 1 point. You got to get the ball to bounce your way. This is what we talk about with momentum. And when it's not going your way, it just feels like the end of the world, right? Nothing's happening. You can't do anything right. But if you keep fucking going, that is what Aaron Glenn's doing. I don't care. I'm going to keep charging forward the way I know to do it. And this week, it stuck. Didn't it feel at the end of the game like the Jets had all the momentum in the world? Didn't it? We're so used to being on the other end of that, where it feels like nothing you do can go right. Nothing you do works. The ball falls and it bounces right into their hands, like that kind of stuff. Like week 1, Aaron Rodgers throws a fucking miracle ball. It bounces on everybody's heads. And DK Metcalf, who's laying on the field, it falls right into his chest. And that's the weird 10 yards they needed to kick a 60-yard field goal to win the game by 1 point or 2 points. So when it's going against you, there's nothing you can do. And that's what we're used to feeling. But when the momentum's on your side, which is what every team that plays us feels, it's when the momentum's on your side, that little inch where the tip of the ball needs to just it's this much, man. The whole game, the whole season was riding on an inch or two, but this much. And when you have the momentum, it works. When you have the momentum, you can pitch the ball to your running back, who's got $130 on the day. He's running 8 yards a carry. Just like a couple weeks ago, he had, 8.4 yards. This is, Breece Hall, man. You can pitch him the ball. He can roll out to the right, pump fake it, and then toss it to the corner of the end zone. And your rookie tight end, Jets rookie tight ends, dude, they're waiting to drop the game-winning touchdown, right? You know this. We've been here 1,000 times. But when you have the momentum, you can pitch it to your running back with the game on the line, and he can pump it, and then he can throw it, and your rookie tight end can leap up and pluck it out of the air with a defensive back draped all over him. It can happen. And that's what you saw happen against the Bengals this week, because the Jets... And dude, credit where credit is due, amidst an onslaught of negative press and commentary and opinions and everything else, you're losing the fan base. You've lost the media. You've lost the fan base. And the owner's walking out saying, well, fuck, man, if we could complete a pass. In the owner's attempt to defend his head coach, which is really what he was trying to do, rips a hole in the chest of his quarterback in front of the world. If you can just stay convicted and purposeful and driven and committed to your brand, which we'll see Aaron Glenn talking about, when you stay committed, no matter what the naysayers got coming, whatever arrows are getting shot at you, if you just stay the course, the thought is eventually it'll pop and it'll turn. You got to make it through the shitstorm. So the whole thing I'm telling you guys is I didn't make up this whole schedule thing. Yes, I'm adding to it. And yes, I'm talking about it. But this is given to me by Jets fans. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. When we get accused of being the most negative fan base in the NFL, when we get accused of making it more difficult for players to succeed here, when we get accused of being part of the problem, when we get accused of being most of the problem, the truth is very, very different. The truth is, you give us one victory, and we will start imagining a world where all is peaches and all is cream. That's what we do. We are starving for positivity. We are starving for something to root for, something to feel good about, to feel proud of, to when you walk into a game against a division rival and talk to opposing fans, you want to be able to shit talk like the old days when it was good, fun ribbing. And you can honestly believe, dude, my quarterback's going to outplay your quarterback. Back in the days of Kenny O'Brien versus Marino, sure, Marino was the better quarterback, but Kenny O held his own, man, and he could come out and he could do it, and he can outplay him, and we saw it. And you can walk into those conversations with some pride, and you can be boastful, and they've completely stolen that from us. Shit, man, not since the days. I mean, not that we were talking Mark Sanchez was a better quarterback than any, but not since those days have we really felt. Maybe you could argue that the Fitzpatrick, Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, Chris Ivory offense. Maybe we were able to boast a little bit then. Like, bro, Chris Ivory's going to tear your defense up. You could say that stuff. Nobody on your team is going to stop Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker together. Throw in a little Curly, right? Who was our other guy? Todd Bowles didn't like Curly. He wanted to get rid of him right away. So there was somebody else. But anyway, so you give us a little bit. We have 7 straight losses. We walked into this week's game 0-7 with our coach on the hot seat, a former Jets great who we all want to succeed, was firmly on the hot seat. And you give us a 1-point victory, and we will start imagining. We will start shifting. Not all of us, not all at once, but it starts. And that narrative was given to me by not only one person, not exactly the same. It's not like everybody got up to, but the ideas start. You know what, man? We get healthy in this bye. We get Garrett Wilson back. Now we know Tyler Johnson can play a little bit. Brees looks like a man possessed. Isaiah Davis got some real time in the offense. He looks like he's getting comfy. The offensive line is gelling a little bit. You get Garrett Wilson back. Josh Reynolds is back. Quincy Williams, who had a hot and cold day, certainly looked like he came to play today, didn't he? And again, not perfect, hot and cold, but boy, oh boy, was he flying around. Heat-seeking missile at times. So you know what I mean? We start to dream. We are an amazing fan base. An amazing group of people who has been tortured and robbed time and time again. The worse we get, the more our owner raises the prices. The worse we get, the more new merch they add to the pile. I would not be surprised if they come out with a bright yellow jersey and tell us it's Jets. This is our sun shower jersey for sunny days ahead. Wear your sun shower Jets jersey and promote positivity and a new day, a new dawn for the new Jets. Like, that's what they're going to do. Only $199. Get yours today. That's what they're going to do. We're the best fan base. We're the most passionate. And we're the most tortured in the entire NFL. Dude, put me on a fucking stage in an auditorium against any single fan of any team in the NFL and let them pour their woes out open for the world to see, and I will trounce them with the Jets' history. I will trounce them. I will make them fucking walk back like, wow, I had no idea. I had no idea. And I'm not saying that other fans don't have it hard. I'm not saying that other fans don't deal with shit. You know, we got our cousins in pain. The Bears can't find a quarterback. Obviously, the Lions, up until just recently, they've never won a championship in the NFL. So, yeah, man. How about the Cardinals? They qualify. The Jaguars, right? We know who we are. But please, like whenever they chime in, they go, oh, I know, man. Imagine being this. You think you got it bad. I laugh. So when you give us something, anything to sink our teeth into, dude, we will flip from negative Nellies to positive Patricias in a matter of hours. And that's what it is. Guys, we're going to get into some Aaron Glenn stuff. We're going to show you the passion and the team. Right after I remind you of the amazing offer from the sponsor of this GreenBean's Jets pod, episode 188, the Great Sleeper app, everybody. Now, I want to tell you, a lot of people are hesitant. They want to play fantasy football. They want to get in. It does seem like, hey, man, I got a lot of football knowledge. Well, Sleeper knows how to make that game day knowledge into payday knowledge, baby. They know how to do it. You're a little bit hesitant. You don't know. I don't know if I want to commit. Well, Sleeper's got you covered. A $20 bonus, no deposit necessary for all new signups. You sign up, you take advantage of this, and you start to figure, you mess around, you figure it out. You see what you want to do, and you get to learn the app a little bit on Sleeper. They got you. And when you like it, get your first deposit up to $100 matched by Sleeper, all by using the promo code GreenBean. Stats, scores, the community within the Sleeper app is amazing. It's like no place else in the world, and you're going to love it. I've made it easy for you. I put the link in the description. I should say it that way, to make it easy for you, but use the promo code GreenBean and take advantage of that amazing match. Up to $100. I want to thank Sleeper for hanging out with us. I'm proud of Sleeper being in connection with this podcast. Thank you, Sleeper. So, guys, we got some things to talk about. Let's talk about the impact of former Jets greats in today's Jets team in the Intelligent Gripe. So after the game, again, we got to wonder, right? We see Garrett Wilson arguing with Aaron Glenn, walking off the field at the half. We see all kinds of stuff, Breece Hall saying free Breece. You got rumors that Quinnen Williams was unhappy and yada, yada, yada. But I want you to see, after the game, Aaron Glenn talks a little bit about some things in his team post-game storytelling time. What do they call it? The post-speech. There it is. The post-game story hour. So let's take a look and listen. We got a window in. We got an inside guy who's letting us see what the Aaron Glenn post-game speech looked like. Let's take a look at this.
I don't have all the numbers and all that right now. But, man, defense, when it counted, you stepped your up and you made it. Offense, 500.
500 yards.
254 rushing yards. Yeah. Man, I love this group. And man, from here on out, grit. Because I told you during the offseason, man, we have to create an advantage. We did. But you showed all the grit in the world to win this game. Have a good fight home. Man. I love this group, man. Let's call it up. I love this group, man. Let's call it up.
All right. So, look, it sounded like there were some gaps in the speech there, right? And there were. They bleeped out a few words. I'm sure with your imagination, you can fill in the blanks there, right? Like so many Mad Libs games we played as kids. You can fill it in. Aaron Glenn is pumped up, and he said 500 yards of offense, 254 of that was on the ground. And what did he say? Our effing brand. Our brand. When you talk about having an identity, you got to create this thing. Now, the problem has been, we have been unsure because of some inconsistent play by the quarterback. Then you had the concussion, right? Like, we're all talking about wanting Tyrod Taylor and all this kind of stuff. Look, with all due respect to Tyrod Taylor, Sure, he might have played a little better than Justin Fields, like we talked about last week. But the truth is, Tyrod Taylor has played a total of 6 quarters for us this year. And he's got 3 interceptions, 1 pick six, which lost the game in Tampa. That was the difference. So, what are we really rooting for here? Now we're talking about Brady Cook. Brady Cook is an undrafted free agent rookie who's never played an NFL snap outside of preseason, of course, and looked sloppy as hell in preseason. Started to put it together a little bit. But do we really want to catapult this kid in and like some sort of narrative? Might not have to be spoken out loud, but we're talking about him coming in and saving us, him being the piece. And that's way too much weight to put on a kid who wasn't even drafted. He didn't even hear his name called. Think about it, guys. So you got to stick, whatever the plan is, it's my firm opinion, you got to stick with the Justin Fields experiment. I don't care what he said. There's only one way to go. And it sucks because when he's playing so poorly, the last 2 weeks with a net of 15 yards, through the air, that's no good. But the alternative being 2 interceptions or 3 interceptions, 1 for a pick six, that's not the solution either, man. Now, Justin Fields, his numbers this week, they look like, greatest quarterback we've ever had. That's what it looks like. Justin Fields, 21 of 32, 244 yards and a touchdown. No interceptions again. This guy has made it all the way to week 8. All the way to the bye. Has not thrown a single interception. Now, he's fumbled the ball. We've lost a couple fumbles. I think we only lost 1. If he's fumbled a couple times, maybe 1, maybe 2. So it's not that he has no turnovers. But, guys, this is some limited. He hasn't thrown a single interception. Now, the immediate comeback to that, if you don't have it ready, would be, well, dude, he barely throws the fucking ball. Yeah, I guess. So there's lots of balance. It goes both ways here. But the point still is the point. Like, you look at him. Week 1, he comes out and he throws. He has 218 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions, 72.7% completion percentage against the Steelers, a 119 QBR. Then he plays the Bills. We know what that looked like. It was ugly as hell. He had a 27.3 completion percentage, 27 total yards, no touchdowns, no picks, and a 39.6 QBR. Against the Dolphins, Dolphins, 74.1% completion percentage, 226 yards and a touchdown, no picks, 111 QBR. Against the Cowboys, 69.6% completion percentage, 283, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And then he has the 2 bad weeks, right? With, the last couple weeks, we looked abysmal. 52.9%, 50% completion percentage. These are terrible. 45 yards, 46 yards, respectively. And, the net being a total of 15 yards. He played 6 quarters those 2 weeks. 58.7 quarterback rating and 59.7. Terrible. Then he comes out this week because Tyrod Taylor's hurt, so Justin Fields it is. He comes out, he has a 65.6% completion percentage for 244 yards, a touchdown, and a 99.0 completion or a quarterback rating. So one thing we can say here, it's not that the narrative has changed per se. It's not like, hey, this guy's the answer or anything like that. But we might be looking at somebody who's learning his 3rd offense in 3 years. He's got a whole new staff, new team, and he might just not have it all together. It's just that simple. He might not have it all together. He's not the greatest quarterback to begin with, and he's inconsistent and sporadic. Like, that could be very much, it's just that simple. And if we weren't as intense as we are, maybe we just take a step back and let it happen. I don't know. Let's look at his rushing yards, too. So he's also got 3 rushing touchdowns. So he's got 7 touchdowns total. this season. 3 on the ground and 4 in the air. Is that what he has? So it's not great, right? It's not great what we're talking about. But right now he's got an average of 63.7% completion percentage. And that's with games like Buffalo, 29%. Games like the last couple of weeks, 58 and 59%. So extremes on one end. And then you got, the other side. But it's like when you balance it all together, as far as his efficiency, he's sad to say. Outside of Aaron Rodgers last year, he's having one of the better. It's crazy, right? That's how abysmal we really are. But he's not having the worst season by Jets quarterback standards. Again, I'm not trying to shift it all and revise history. I'm just talking, just bringing up a point that if maybe Tanner Engstrand can just get confidence a little bit in him, right? A little bit of confidence. And how about this? You saw in this game, they were using his legs a lot more by design. And I am a firm believer that you need to build the plan around the strengths of the man running it, and everybody else for that matter. If you got nobody with top end speed, you shouldn't be sending anybody on go routes, like simple stuff like that. So if we can factor in Justin Fields' legs, it's like remember a couple years ago, 2 years ago, right after the bye, a couple weeks after the bye, Paul Hackett's son said, hey, we didn't know that Brees could be such an asset in the passing game. Now, what are you talking about, moron? But the fact being that it took him some time to realize some shit as the offensive coordinator. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe I can do this, or maybe I can do that. And that was what I hope happens here with Justin Fields. Like, here's the truth of it. And this is what he's shown throughout his career and in college at Ohio State. He's really a 1, maybe 2 read quarterback. It just is what it is, man. You want to make him take a 7-step drop and have long developing routes. He's lost in the sauce by the time he gets to his 6th step. He's done already. So you do the quick stuff. Garrett's your first read. A tight end or the running back should be your second read. And if they're not there, take off. Take off, dude. Commit confidently. It doesn't matter. If a first down is the result, it doesn't matter. And hopefully coming out of the bye, seeing the success of week 1, which they did a lot of that, and week 8, look at the similarities when Justin Fields' legs are involved and you're not really asking him to do too much outside of what his skill set is. Maybe, just maybe, you can put something together that's successful, because we have talent all over the place. Garrett Wilson, who hasn't played in the last couple of weeks, it is what it is. He's allowed to get hurt. Hasn't been hurt. This is the first time he's out in 4 years. It happens. So we got Garrett Wilson. You got Brees Hall. Tyler Johnson came out of the bag today. Looked like he could be competent. Isaiah Williams had himself a nice game this week. You got Brees Hall. You got Isaiah Davis. Braylon Allen, we know, is also very talented. Mason Taylor is only going to be as good as the people throwing him the ball, but he looks like a ball player, doesn't he? Jeremy Ruckert had his impact this week as well, and he can come out of the box. He's a good blocker. Just keep these guys doing what they do well. Don't overthink it. Don't get nuts. And maybe, just maybe, you can put something together. Safe, efficient, at the same time, not fear-based and conservative. Safe, but not conservative. Efficient, but not afraid. Maybe you can put it all together. Brees Hall. Look at this guy. Brees Hall had 18 rushes for 133 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. That's a 7.4 yard average. 7.4 yards a rush, guys. And he happened to throw in another touchdown. So Brees Hall responsible for 3 touchdowns on the day. Isaiah Davis, our RB3, now RB2 because of Braylon Allen's injury. Isaiah Davis, 7 rushes, 65 yards, and a 9.3 yard average. Justin Fields had 11 rushes against the Bengals. Some designed, some not. 2.8 yard average, so nothing there, but got himself some first downs and also moved got to like on a blown first down, he makes it into 5 yards. I'll take it. Instead of a sack or a 0 yard play. Isaiah Williams also had a rush today for 25 yards. Tyler Johnson led the receivers yardage wise. He had 3 receptions for 64 yards and a touchdown. Isaiah Davis, so he had the 7 rushes for 65 yards. But Isaiah Davis also had 5 receptions for 44 yards. That's 99 all-purpose yards for Isaiah Davis. That's a hundo where I come from. 8.8 yard average in the air. By the way, Tyler Johnson's average on 3 catches was 21.3 yards. And you got Mason Taylor coming in with 5 receptions, 34 yards, and a touchdown. Isaiah Williams had 3 catches. So he had the rush for 25, 3 catches for 31 yards. Chains moving, stuff like that. Had a decent day returning the ball as well. Jeremy Ruckert had that pivotal catch for 24 yards. Arian Smith got in the game, 3rd down catch, 23 yards. Breece Hall had 2 more catches for 14 yards. Andrew Beck and Alan Lazard each pulled one in. So, going into the bye, they got to really look at this and be honest with themselves. Maybe this is who we are. Our brand of football is this. We're not that. And these games, a lot of these games have been close, guys. You know this. We've lost these games at 1 point, 2 points. And I know some of it was garbage timey stuff, but it's not really garbage time when you have an opportunity to win it at the end. We're doing onside kicks and stuff, which the NFL is already realizing this is the worst. Supposedly, they're considering the 4th and 15 thing. So if you, instead of onside kicking, you just, from your own 20-yard line or something, you get a 4th and 15. You get 1 play to see if you'll get the ball back. The downside to that is if you fail, the other team gets the ball where you failed. Something like that. I think that would be exciting. At least it's, risky. But you're willing to do it. But look at how we lost, guys. I mean, again, week 1, we should have won that game. It was an Xavier Gibson fumble. That was the difference, among many other things, but that was the real difference in the game. 34-32. The Bills game, they trounced us. The Jets Bucks, without that pick 6, shit, man, 29-27. And again, I know the deal. What happened in the 4th quarter, and we looked like nothing for 3 quarters, and then I get it. It doesn't matter. A game is 4 quarters for a reason. A game is 60 minutes for a reason. Jets, Dolphins, we could have very easily won that game, 27-21, 1-score game. The Cowboys, uglier than it looked, but it's still 37-22, isn't exactly something I'm telling my friends about. So I'm not writing home about that one. Jets, Broncos, come on, 13-11. We could have won that game at any time. Panthers, 13-6. So do you see, we're not that far away. I'm not saying we're going to be the champion. We're not that far away from being a competent team. And if they're doing it the hard way, they're doing it the hard way. It is what it is. And speaking of the hard way, let's talk about the big thing this week. Now, we lost somebody. We started the football Sunday with some really bad news. Really bad news. A player that 99.9% of Jets fans absolutely loved. There's always that 0.1% that are just weird. Nick Mangold, I remember when he was drafted. We took the Brickashaw Ferguson out of UVA with the 4th overall pick, I think. And then Nick Mangold was the pick that we got from the John Abraham trade. Now, John Abraham was a Jets great, and a lot of Jets fans were not happy that Eric Mangini decided to trade him. But he got that pick, and the saving grace, when you trade a player like John Abraham away, a dominant edge rusher, special, when you trade a guy like that away and you get that pick, it's like trading Revis and fucking getting D. Milner. That's the other way that you could do this whole thing. What the Jets did was we traded away John Abraham and we used that pick on one Nick Mangold, a guy that we would see manning the center of our offensive line for a decade plus. Missed almost no games. His partner in crime, left tackle Brickashaw Ferguson, missed one snap in the entire 10 years he was with us, and that was by design. It wasn't because he needed to be out. They just did something weird, and they put him on the sideline for one play or something like that. Nick Mangold was the heart and soul of our offense for years. You remember when Joe Douglas first came here? And so Mike McCagnon did the whole draft, right? And he did the whole free agency. And he spent $100 million in free agency. We had the number 3 overall pick and a full draft. And we fire Mike McCagnon. Joe Douglas arrives here and there's no offensive line. There's nobody to speak of. So what he did was he talked Khalil, the longtime all-pro center. He talked him off the couch. He had retired that year. He called him and said, look, I need somebody. He sucked for us, but it doesn't matter. At that point, there was nothing else Joe Douglas could do, so he talks him off the couch. Do you remember what Ryan Khalil said? The first thing he had to do when Joe Douglas was calling him and he was considering taking him up on the offer. Do you guys remember what Ryan Khalil said he had to do? He said he had to call Nick Mangold and make sure it was cool, because that's Nick's team. Now, he didn't have to do it. It's a sign of respect. Nick Mangold, in the world of centers, the Jets were Knicks. The Jets were Mangolds. And Ryan Khalil, as he considered accepting the offer, he called Nick Mangold to talk to him about it. Say, hey, man, that's what I'm thinking of doing. Get the okay. It's like asking your girlfriend's father for her hand. Truth is, you don't need to, but it's a sign of respect. That's who Nick Mangold was. Now, Nick Mangold, 7-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, is being nominated for the Hall of Fame this year. It's a shame. Now, whether or not he's a first ballot, we don't know. But I do think he's destined for the Hall of Fame one way or the other. He might not make it in the first time, but he'll get in because he's a great player. This man stayed, look, he's not from here. He's not from New York area. He's born in Ohio, lived in Ohio, played college ball at Ohio State. So every reason in the world to think he'd be more associated with Ohio. But the last number of years since his retirement, he's been a very, very vocal and outward figure in the New York Jets community. He's one of us. He was 11 years, all with the Jets. All with the Jets. He never played for another NFL team. And when he retired, he stayed right here. He's announcing draft picks. He's traveling with the team when we're playing in London. He's doing all the stuff. He's a Jet. He's always been a Jet since the day we drafted him. And he was a Jet every day of his retirement. And he's a Jet right now. We lost one of our own this weekend. And it's sad. And he was 41 years old. And he was a big, strong man. Burly. And it's just, you don't think a guy like that can be taken so quickly. And when his former coach, Rex Ryan, remember, he was drafted by Eric Mangini, so he played 3 years under Mangini, but then the 6 years he played for Rex. And then there was Todd Bowles for a couple years, and that was it. So he had Mangini, Rex, Bowles. So Rex was the coach for the longest time, 6 years with Rex and Mangold. So when they asked him, they asked Rex Ryan Sunday morning how he felt. It was a tearjerker. I'd like to show that to you now. If you haven't seen it, it's heavy duty, man. And it, I think, sums up the feelings that we're all having about Nick Mangold, as I think about it, about as good as you can. So let's take a look at Rex Ryan and his feelings about the passing of the great Nick Mangold.
I have some extraordinarily sad news to report on behalf of all of us here. Tough news for everyone around the National Football League. I'm very sorry to be the one to tell you that former New York Jets center Nick Mangold has died. Mangold had battled chronic kidney disease since a 2006 diagnosis for a rare genetic disorder. He went public earlier this month about his need for a kidney transplant. He was a two-time first-team All-Pro. He was selected by the Jets in the first round in 2006 out of Ohio. He went on to appear in 7 Pro Bowls. He was named to the team's Ring of Honor in 2022. Nick Mangold was just 41 years old. Rex Ryan, you, of course, coached Nick Mangold in New York. This is a difficult day for so many people, but particularly for you. What are your emotions this morning?
Oh, that's just, it's brutal. It's such a great young man. I had the pleasure of coaching him for all 6 years with the Jets. And I remember it was obvious I was getting fired. My last game, Mangold's injured. And he comes to me and says, I'm playing this game. And he wanted to play for me. That's what I remember about this kid. He was awesome and just way too young. I feel so bad for his wife and family. Whew. Rough.
Difficult day, obviously, for so many who knew and loved Nick Mangold, and you among those, and all of the Jets family, the Ohio State family is mourning today as well. Nick Mangold gone at just the age.
Yeah. I mean, that about says it. And I was at that game. As a matter of fact, that game that Rex Ryan's talking about right there, this is my pass. That was the treatment center right there that I was the executive director of. We had a box down there at Sun Life Stadium, now at Hard Rock Stadium. And this is my on-field pass, right? So this is my, let's see, my sideline club. Can you see it? The light's kind of weird. There you go. Sideline club, week 10 it was. So that was the end of the, or their 10th game. That's what it was down there, whatever. December 28th, 2014, Rex Ryan's last game. I actually got to meet Rex that day, but that's the day that who knew that was going on? Nick Mangold, who was injured, decided I want to play in Rex's last game. And he's talking about the connection, the man that he was. I don't care. I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna finish on my feet with you, Rex. And it's a sad day, man. And I'm glad that the Jets were able to pull out a victory on this day. It just, look, in the severity of things in life, obviously a football game pales in comparison to the life of a man. But there's only so much. There's things that from each position that somebody stands, there's only so much you can do to do your part. And the Jets, on this day that we heard of the passing of the great Nick Mangold, the Jets did something in the only way that they could. They decided that this would be a fine time to win our first game of the Aaron Glenn era and the 2025 season. And my heart goes out to Nick Mangold's family and to all of us. I'm sad today. I'm sad. I'm going to be sad for a minute as this really sets in. But with that said, I want to wish everybody a great rest of the week. Love your family, man. Show love. Get your priorities straight. Make sure the people that you love know you love them. Take today and say it, because you just never know. With that all said, enjoy the rest of your week, my friends. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. If you're new here, thanks for checking it out. I'll see you next time, and as always, Go Jets.